Okay, welcome back, guys. For some reason, again, Ustream has stopped the recording, so we're on to part two. So everybody needs to refresh. Okay. So refresh, try refreshing. We'll see if it's working. Yeah, it kind of hiccuped, Carrie said. Yeah, and I noticed that my chat stopped completely. And so I looked and the recording had just stopped. So, okay, so I don't know how much y'all saw me right in here. But all I really said was, all I've been really doing is coloring in here. I don't know if you heard me talk about my commissions, that I do commissions, pet and people. And email me. And if you want to see my work, to look in my Facebook album. Um, Orla. Let's see. Yeah, so this is part two of this. We did another video with the file folder fodder. And now this is part two in the coloring. I got to take another. My throat is really dry here. So let me say this real quick in case we have more Ustream recording issues. I'm going to keep working here, but if this part stops, check out, I'll put links for my Twitter, Instagram, and you can always go on Dee Dee Willingham on Facebook and look in my color book album, my art album, my Gold Rush Crew album, color book. This will be in my color book album. So I have different albums in Facebook that you do not have to follow me, nor I follow you, to go in there and look at all my artwork, or to message me and let me know if you are interested in any kind of commissions. But if this does stop, guys, then I'm not going to start another part. I might stay and work on it, but I'm not going to record more parts. So, yeah, I don't show commissions without people's permissions. Yeah. Okay, so we should be back and okay here. So again, this is just flat black acrylic in the black. This is just a wash of a teal turquoise wash, and same thing for the orange, and a little bit of mint green on the little wavy areas. And again, the page is wrinkled. I can feel it. But by the time we get completely done and it's all covered with color pencil, the wrinkles do have a way of going away because there's so much color pencil re-flattening out your pages. So if y'all have any questions, please ask. I really want to answer as many questions as I can for y'all and for those watching the recording. So thanks everybody for being here. Well, let me get my mods back there corner, because when we got kicked out, when we jumped, it knocked my mods out. I don't even see Carrie. Carrie stayed mod. We're missing Miss Vicky. Miss Vicky has been taking care of her mom. I think I will send her an extra card this week. I won't get into particulars of anybody's, health issues, but if y'all see Vicky BR around, give her a hug. She's taking care of her mom. Oh, that's all right, Gary. Okay, Jean. If you go running off and take a nap, Jean likes to take naps during my show. Just saying. I'm glad I'm there for her. Right, Sassy Pants? Where's my Sassy Pants? I don't know if you were here, Jean. I did show this book earlier in part one, so make sure you watch at least the beginning where you can see this book, because I'm going to send you some of these stickers, Jean. Look, there's Jean. Sassy Pants. At the cat school. But anyway, yeah, I'm going to send you some of these stickers that remind me of Paws and Presto. Okay, so back to our coloring book page. Again, it is a live show with live people here, guys. So if you're watching the recording and you come to a boring part, or I run down and get coffee, just fast forward. Okay. So now, let me move this out of the way. I don't need the markers right now. Although I probably should use some mark. Well, I got to test this out on this particular book because this book I don't think I've used markers in. Let me do a little test. We'll just do that right now. We'll go here to the back of the book and just some here. Let's get a dark color to make sure, because that's the best way to test is with a dark color. I'm just going to do a little bit of color like that on the corner. And let's see if it goes through. Okay, so you can see it a little. It's not like coming through, but see how you can see it a little bit? Now, depending on how, aggressive you get, you can see how it will start to come through. So these are just the cheap water-based brush markers that I got for $4.99. And that's not even including the coupon. I got them for like $2.50 in the Recollections brands at Michael's. And I only just wanted to test them out because they were tiny, pointy brushes. So I just got them for $3 to test out. Yeah, you can see the ghost of the blue. So if you don't want to see that, don't use them on this thin. Again, in this book, and the Doodler's Anonymous, which I hope to get to here shortly, now that we're into part 2, and as long as Ustream stays recording, I want to do a little bit in this book to show you these pages are thicker. So you can do a little bit of water-based marker work with it because the pages are thicker. Let me get to that one where I outlined. I think it's in the back. Here. So this is all color pencil, except, like, see that darker purple right there? That's outlined with purple. So you can, with thicker paper, this is like, I'm guessing about 90 weight. And it's not coated, but it's not, there's no tooth to this. So every color book is going to, every paper is going to react differently to your water washes, your color, your markers, your pencils, your neo colors. They're all going to act differently. So you want to test before you get deep into a color book page and ruin it. Well, email me, Marita. You've been here a couple, 2, 3 times. Carrie, will you put my email in again, please? Marita, email me your address. I'll send you an art card. Yeah, the Crayola markers. Yeah, the bullet tip ones. They're called Super Tips, these. I like these too. Again, they're Crayola brand, but I like them because of the tips. You can get, where's that paper I was using here? You can get a wide bit. You can get a thin line. I should have used a darker color. So that's why I like them. Again, these are water-based, not watercolor markers. They're cheap. 50 of them you can get for $5 to $10 depending on coupons. The ones that Eileen was talking about earlier are more expensive. They're watercolor brush. Who are they by again, Eileen? I didn't write it down. And they're awesome, but they're going to cost you more. But they'll blend better, I'm sure, than the Crayola. But if you're going to go over something with color pencil, these are fine. I think I lost my focus again. I need to probably refocus my camera. So test it out is what I'm saying. Test it out. All right, let me move this out of the way. Move all this wet paint out of the way because I'll be the first one to stick my my color books and stuff in these wet palettes. Let me move those out of the way. Make sure I don't have any wet paint on my hands. You got the Fairyland color book. That Fairyland color book to me would be perfect if you, now granted, if you only got one color book, I'm not telling you to do this, but if you got multiple color books, to me that color book is like the perfect one to do Paula's original, as far as I've ever seen, original thing of doing partial color book, partial art journal. The Fairyland one, because you got a lot of duplicates, you got some small images that are duplicated over and over, the paper's a little thicker, and it would make a great combo art journal color book like Journal Artista, I think, invented. I don't know. She's the only one I've ever seen do it. Okay, so let me move my How to be a dog. Let's see. Let me read something. Riding in a car, the do's and don'ts. Don't suddenly, this is from a dog's point of view. Don't suddenly bark as loud as you can, just inches behind your owner's head. The shock could cause your owner to have an accident. And while temporarily being without a car will benefit you, you'll inevitably and completely unfairly get blamed for the crash. Do whimper continually. This should start as soon as you're placed in the car and increase in pitch, timbre, and volume until the level of distress you are exhibiting brings the journey to a premature conclusion. Do drool when sticking your head out an open window. The wind will catch this and fling it all over The wind will catch this and fling it over the windscreen of the following car. You'll find this funny, although the driver behind you will not. So that's some of How to Be a Dog by Maxwell Wolfington. That was put out by Omara. Okay. That was a little rabbit trail there. Okay, thanks, Chabs. Okay, Ferdinand, I think you might have to go somewhere else. Carrie, will you show Ferdinand the door? Thank you. Thank you, Eileen. Okay, so moving on. Yeah, we don't kick or ban anybody unless they're really trolls, or if I accidentally kick one of my mods out. Like I did Vicky, bless her heart. I was going to mod Vicky last week and I kicked her out. Okay, so yeah. All right, so let's go ahead and again, you know, these kind of things, these kind of markers and things. Now I could probably go in here and do, you know, like these little eyes, let's say, on that little bitty fish. And that's probably not going to do anything. It's not going to go through or anything like that. But if I color that whole fish, it might shadow through. So you just got to kind of be aware. Yes, I did, Jean. I did. I kicked Vicky out last week when I tried to click the mod button. I clicked the kick button. She's not going to let me forget that either. I'm telling you. All right. So now let's go ahead and do a little bit of coloring on here. I'm going to just show you a little bit here. All these little bits, you could just color that a solid color. I'll show you how I kind of shade a little bit here on this mint green wave thing. And again, all this will be painted black. All the background's going to be black. Then I might do some dots, some stars, or maybe nothing. I might just leave it flat black. But, you know, the gel pens like this one, I just got a set of the Jelly Roll gel pens because I've been using the Pentel Sunburst for the longest time. But they're running out. I have tons of them, and they're all running out. So I said, well, I'm going to go ahead and get me some Jelly Rolls. I haven't used them in a long time. So I got a set of 3 Jelly Rolls with the 40% off coupon. I think I got it for $2 for 3. Hobby Lobby. But anyway, so these seem to be going well over. Let me just put a couple dots here so you can see. See, nice bright white. Hang on, guys. I froze. Mail coming in. So you can see that right there. All right, let's see. I might have to refocus. Are we good? It's a little fuzzy. It's not too bad. I'll probably refocus again when we go to the next color book. We refocus every color book. So let me get a couple colors of some dark teal, some white, a black. So, and again, these are just my most recent, these are the colors that I used in the last 2 projects I was doing. So I might have like some of them, like a black and a white in here. Let me just get my, black, a white, probably a dark, kind of a gray, teal-y color. It might be a little, that's peacock blue, I think. Yeah. And maybe a lighter shade of turquoise, not in here. Let's see. Go over here to my big tray. Maybe this one. Okay, so I'm just going to just go with this. A black, a white, 3 shades of the blue. And they might be a little off. You know, we're going to blend. All right, so let me find my sharpener. Eileen, it was preemptive for you. Okay. So just get them nice and sharp. You know, and you do want them sharp when you're getting in little bitty, tiny areas. But let me show you one thing that I did on this book, on the astronaut. Just another kind of cool thing you can do is where the color book is actually already black. You can go over that with a pencil if you want. But what I did in this case is I went with a white pencil on top of this is already black. That's the printed black area. And I went over on with the white and made it look like spacey, foggy, foamy, whatever. And I did the same thing on the cat's face. His, like, all that white on his face, that's all color pencil. So, you know, be the boss of your page. Just because it's flat black doesn't mean you have to leave it that way. Okay? So what I want to say is, like, for instance, in his eyeball here, I can go over that and make more highlights, or make another highlight, or another, you know, something like that. Okay? Same thing for any of these black areas. You can shadow them, shade them. Or if you only have a color pencil and not a gel pen, you can still do little dots with the white pencil. But that's part of the fun to me of doing a color book page with all different kinds of things. Don't be afraid to try anything. Just test it out in the back. So you don't, you know, ruin your page and go, oh my gosh, look what I did. So I think now I'll show you probably the easiest way to show you I'm going to just do this little area here. Is, you know how I do my portraits? I start with a white highlight on the tan tone paper to make a map of where I'm going. Well, you know, you don't have to do it my way, guys. You can start with the shadows, start however you like. But remember that all the shadowed inked areas that are already on the piece are indicators of your shadows. They've already got the shadows picked out for you. I bought a little container for your pencil shavings. It's a big help. Yeah, see, I do a little bowl here. It's just easy to have it handy, isn't it? Yeah, that's a good tip, Rain. So I'm just going to go in here. Now watch how the white will go over. This is an acrylic paint wash. Oh, let me put something in between, though. I always tell y'all to do that. I put a piece of cardstock behind it, okay? Not only for the sake of these two not touching, but also it just, you're not going to make dents in the following page. All right, so I'm just going to find my whitest highlights, like right at the top of his eyelid here, right on the top of this little inner eyelid, and maybe a little bit of highlight right there on the other end. And then I just start picking out maybe some of the brightest whites that I really don't want to lose. And if that's too white, you got other colors to go over it with, okay? I'm just picking out some of the brightest highlights. And I'm really not pushing down very hard. You don't need to. The acrylic paint is picking up the pencil. Now again, it's a little irritating to try to get in those little crevices, but it's not that big a deal to me. Okay, so on his back here, I'm going to put some highlights there. It's better to go, you know, over and over and over like this than just to bear down and get it in one fell swoop. It's just better. Okay, so can you kind of see a little bit there? How we doing? And these little bubbles, they have blue acrylic paint right over them. It's no problem just to put your pencil right and just cover up the paint. Again, if y'all have any questions, please ask. Hi, Linda. Been a while since I've seen you. I met Linda Israel through Blade. She's actually been to Artistic Biker's studio and did a show with him a few years ago. Hey, Suzanne. Yeah, it's nice, isn't it, Paula? And it makes it fun. I don't know. I guess I want to learn and I want to practice my shade, more and more color combinations, shadings, and all that. But I also don't. I want it to be fun and relaxing. If I want to do a full on, you know, demo class something, I don't. I don't know. I just don't want to have to. I don't want to have to overthink this. I don't want to have to overthink my color book pages. All right, so now I'm going to take, let's see, let me take sharpen my blue here. I'm going to take my peacock blue, and I'm going to use that as my main shadow color. Um, I will go in there maybe with some dark blue or black on some of the darkest shadows, but I'm going to find all my shadows with let's see, let me try to zoom in one. I'll probably have to re-zoom back out here when I go to the other color book. But let's try it a couple of clicks in. Let me re-autofocus. It's a little pixelated, but maybe y'all can see. How's that, guys? Hopefully. All right, so all those areas that have the pre-shading already in there, now I'm just going to kind of go in there and find those with the blue. I got to say, guys, I'm barely touching the page. I'm just, going in there with all those shadows are. And I'm so lightly touching it with this dark blue, I can still see the lines through. I don't know if you can, but see how you can still see the lines through it? Even with the dark blue. That's how light of a touch that I'm doing. Okay, so I'm just going to shadow all those areas. And this takes a while. I just can't oh, there we go, it's done. We got to go in there, and I'm just going to lightly go in there with my dark blue. It's not the darkest dark color. I'll either go in there with the dark blue or a black for even heavier shadows. But right now I'm just going in there. And this is just great practice for blending and shadows. And you wouldn't think that would help you, like fine shadows, like under the eyes. You think it's so obvious when you want to draw something, but it does help you practice. And I don't know any of us that don't continuously need practice and learn. I don't know. Down here, again, I can still see all the little scaly marks and things. I might just do a little shadow here, a little shadow there. See how I'm just kind of skipping around there? Under this fish, there's a shadow. But I'm barely touching. The acrylic paint is grabbing the pencil. It's kind of flashing out, isn't it, guys? Let me try to refocus one more time. Maybe if I leave that there. I think if I leave that there, the camera's liking that. The acrylic paint is grabbing the color pencil, so I'm barely having to put any pressure at all. It's giving it just the right amount of tooth. But again, it's great for these big areas like this, but do I want to go in there in every little star and wash it out with some acrylic paint? No, I don't. You can. You can. Around those little bubbles there. So you can see with just the acrylic wash, white and the blue. That's all I've gone so far. Look how much shading is just happening with just a white and a blue and the base coat of wash. I hope it's showing up. Your pressure is like a whisper. Yes, it is like a whisper. Whippy. You just, with the acrylic wash on there, you don't need much pressure. Now, on, like, for instance, that thicker, slicker, like heavier weight cardstock paper that's in Doodler's Anonymous, you got to put a little more pressure if you didn't put an acrylic wash. You have to put a little bit more pressure or more layers. But this is just grabbing it, you know? And so it makes it nice. It makes it pleasant. It makes it pleasant to color with the wash under it. So can you see the difference here? And here a little bit right there. It just feels good to color it with the wash on it. And again, it's because it's the acrylic. You can still put a wash with watercolor or any of the other mediums that we did the little chart on, but it's not going to be the vibrancy, and it's not going to be the same tooth that's grabbing. I think I'll put a little bit of blue in his eye. That's grabbing the pencil. When putting in the shadows or highlights, is there a person? Well, that's what we were talking about a little while ago, Orla. The shadows in most adult color book pages, the shadows are already there for you. All these dark lined areas, they're already there for you. For instance, like look at this one tentacle right here. See all those little lines? That's the lines that the artist already drew in for you. So if you go in there and I'm holding it up in the air. You're coloring, the shadows are already given you. It's not too hard to pick them out. But keep a light touch, and you'll keep those lines under there if you have a light touch. Good, Suzanne. Suzanne says it's the best technique she's used. You thought it looked good with the wash? Yeah. That's why it's just fun, isn't it? So you can get in there like right along here is where those lines are on this leg, this tentacle right here. And the same thing, you can go back in there with some white highlight right along the top. Okay. See, and that's already done. I mean, it doesn't take a lot. You can go back in here with your white, go back and forth, get your blues in there, a little darker, a little more here, there. All right, now I'm gonna even darken it even more and make it even more stand out here in a minute. But I want to get I'm kind of going all in here where any of those already put in color book lines for you. Oops, sorry guys, got off camera there. Okay. And adding a little bit, just a little bit darker than your wash. But you notice I'm not like coloring it solid. These areas where the wash is, you just got to you got to leave it. And this is when you get to go around any tiny areas that you might have missed with the wash, like shadow underneath of every little creature. And I haven't even put any white over on this area. I stopped right over here. But you can put some more. Okay. Again, going back in here in any of the areas that like need a bit of a shadow. You can see the black lines. Makes it easy for you. The shading is done in a lot of these books. I can't speak for everyone because I don't have everyone, but that's why they're adult color books. Oops, let me get my Pt2 blue here. I'll stay in camera. So all those areas that have, all right, so, and I can be at this for a long time. I could just take my time and get in there, and depending on how much time I want to take. And this is just this area here. You got to do all these legs, every bit of this. I'll do one of these tentacles or these sucker legs here. I'll do one of those here too for you. Okay, let me finish this area, or get crack-a-lacking on this area. Oh, sorry, Lynn. I'm still recording. We're still here. All right, so now I'm going to take either a dark indigo blue or black, in this case, you know, a darker color, and I'm going to get in the darkest areas, lightly going over where your shadows are already indicated, but in some of the areas that are really dark with their lines, that have thicker lines, or in corners and crevices, or you can just kind of tell where. Oh, can you see that? See how I'm just going in there with a light touch and going in there with some of the darker, the very, very dark. Now, I'm not going back over the whole blue. I'm just picking out carefully and kind of blending it in. This is where the blending practice comes in. Okay? Just kind of going in all those little areas that look like they're going to be extra dark, under things, in the cracks, in the lines, in the. So I'm just going in certain areas where I can tell I want it extra dark. And a lot of times you'll be able to tell that where they're heavier lines that the artist has already put in there for you. Can you see that around the eye? Hey, JJ, anybody else popping in? Thanks for being here. Okay, so I'm just going in there and darkening up. And you just take your time and blend and just kind of take your time. Look, stand back and look at it. And if you think you get too harsh of a line, like it looks too much like a line, go back in with your blue and go over the black and soften it out. This is where the blending process, the blending practice comes in. Soften out the black, go in there with your white, soften out some of those blues. You just got to go back and forth between all the different colors. See, I'm not using that one right now, and I'm not using this. I'm just using 3 colors right now. It's only 3 colors right there on top of that wash. But see how the little scaly, bumpy things are really just starting to pop? I might want to make sure I have a nice highlight right there on the top of his head. Some of those little scaly things that are on his head, I might want to just pick a couple out. You don't have to do every little, you can, but you don't have to do every little scale or every little dot. The wash has covered, given you a base. So you can still see through it, and so you can still see little lines and things, indications under there. Oh, a new JJ. Okay, let me see where that, which one is JJ? I'm looking. When he does this, it turns out 3D. Well, that, and look, I'm only using a black, a white, and a blue on top of the wash. And all I'm doing is following the already, maybe you'll be able to see it better when I get to here. See all the little lines? See all that? That's your shadows right there. It's showing you your shadows. Oh, that looked really crisp right there for a minute. That looked really good right there. Maybe I need to drop the camera again. I don't know. Let me see if I can zoom in again. Now let me try to autofocus. Let's see here. How's that? Oh, that looks pretty darn good. I don't know if we'll be able to keep it, but yeah. Okay. So again, we have the wash as like your, just a main base coat. Then a darker blue than the blue that we did it with, and a black and a white. And that's it right now. I mean, now if you're doing faces and more subtle shading and colors, you will have to use more than the three colors. But it's a start. The eyeball looks better. Yeah. Had no idea it was bad focus. I know, Carrie. That's why I zoom in and zoom out. Well, now we know how far we can do this camera, and of course, a lot of it depends on the lighting. It's dark out today, so my light's not flashing out as bad because the sun is. Maybe I just need to sit here and color in the dark. We'll color in the dark with just a light on. When evil camera trick you, yes. So there, is that better? I guess as long as I keep my hand in here. I have autofocus. I autofocused it, then I turned autofocus off. Because if I keep autofocus on, it's going to zoom in and out. We don't want to. So if I keep my hand or something else in here, then it should work pretty well. We'll see. So anyway, see? And again, you can even get more subtle blues with going over where you've colored it with blue and you want to like kind of get another mid-tone, go lightly over it with the white. So it's all about just blending and practicing your blending. Back and forth, back and forth. Then maybe a little bit darker black right in the crevice, right in those creases. And if it gets too sharp and harsh looking, go over it with the blue to kind of soften it out. Okay, so does this help? Can y'all get something out of this, you think? And then you just got to keep working it. And depending on how much time you want to take, how much shading and blending you want to do, you may just want to stop here. You might want to keep going, and it just depends. You might want to spend more time right around the eye and less time on another area. But once you get into it and your page is looking really good, you want the whole thing to look really good. There might be a rule about coloring in the dark. Oh my goodness. A lanternfish? Yeah. Make this into a lanternfish? Well, we could do that. I think it just needs a little I wish that was closer. If that was closer, that could be the glow. But we could do a little like that. And we could just a gel pen will be littler. Let's do it with the gel pen. There. How's that, Eileen? But we need to make him have like, now again, I'm going to use a red marker or a pink or a red. Let's see, let's get a red. But it's just going to be a dot, okay? And I'm not going to color that whole thing because it'll go through. But a little dot like that, that's okay. It'll handle that. Maybe a couple extra teeth, Eileen. So now because for those of y'all that don't know, I did a lanternfish on my 31 days of Inktober. For October, I did a lanternfish, and it was, I already did pencil there. I can't go back over that. Um, and they have these big teeth. Oh, and so again, I just noticed something else to tell y'all. Okay, so I went in there with paint, right? Black paint, and painted all that out. But even with that black paint on a sharp brush, look right here. See how I didn't really get right up on there? So that's when you want to go in there with your color pencil and get right up and, you know, sharpen in any little areas you might have missed with the paint. And that's why I was saying, like, if you did a background of like dark green, you'd want to try to match a dark green pencil so you can go in there and you can't tell where you've gone with paint or color pencil. So any of these little areas that, you know, little tiny areas that you might have missed with the paint, you can get in there with your brush. I mean your pencil. Of course, you really don't see those unless you're like zoomed in on five zoom ins on your camera. But just so you get the idea. Okay, so now you got the idea here. Again, you can still go in here more and blend out, you know, blend out any pencil lines you don't want, or, you know, maybe you don't care. Maybe it needs some texture. Maybe it needs some pencil lines to give it more oomph. It just depends on what it is you're coloring. You know, if you're coloring a bumpy, you know, frog, or if you're doing a fur, or, you know, different pressures, different blends will work with different um, textures that you might want to create. All right, so real quick, I want to do this. I want to do right here. I'm so impressed with getting, all I really needed to do, I mean, all this time, all I had to do was zoom in completely. 5 clicks. In the dark. Well, it's not really dark. It's like no sun. Okay, so let's go ahead and color this. I see you, Sarah. Let me test my chat too to make sure. All right, so now we started here. I'm going to keep white, and let me come over here to my color pencil. Because I want to still color something in this book too. All right, let me just get my tray here of my colors that I've pulled a lot of. All right. You're still here. All right, so now it's kind of it's a light orange. So I'm going to get the same color that's almost exact same. Well, it's a little bit off shade. Maybe it needs a little bit more yellow, like this color. All right, let me sharpen this one. So the paint color I used was Orange Twist. And this color pencil that's almost the same as Orange Twist is, I can't really see it. Where's maybe y'all can read it. I don't know what it says. I'm going to have to get my magnifying glass. I can't read it when it's light on light. Here it is. So it is orange. Dang, I can't see. It's too dark in here. What does that say? Orange? It's gold on yellow. I can't see gold on yellow. Orange. Oh my gosh. What is that color? Seriously? All right, here. Let's see if y'all can see it. What is it? It's orange. No, that's not going to work for you guys either. Anyway, that's a light orange. I can't read the color. Sorry, guys. But it's the same color as Orange Twist paint, sort of. And then I got a little bit darker. This is just orange, I think. No, it's something orange. Light orange? No. Salmon. Okay, it's a salmon color. I don't really want salmon. It's got too much pink. Let's go over here to orange. All right, this is better. I want these two, like a light yellow. Now, that's really not distinguishing, but has it? Yes, I do have a magnifying glass. You use your phone app? Yeah. I need to do that, Jean. I need to bring up my phone app magnifying glass. I actually have a real one. Okay, then I'm going to want probably like a sienna. This is ochre. Ochre and sienna are very, very close. And terracotta and sienna pencils are very close in color. And then I do have a ochre. So I'm going to try these. I probably won't need all of them. This one I'll probably just want to blend with. But these will be my shading. Okay. Yes, Jean, I have an actual magnifying glass. Okay. Well, maybe y'all could see it with, let me just, without the magnifying glass. I know it says, see, it won't focus that close, guys. Orange something. But yet gold, orange there. Can anybody read that? Orange, what does that say? I can't read it. Oh, well, let's don't worry about it. Okay, so now I'm going to go in here, and right here, I'm going to, on this case, I'm not really going to pick out any whites like I did here, because I probably won't have any whites on here, but you could. But I'm going to go in here now and find all the darks. That's just the way I'm going to roll today. So I got my sienna, which is going to be the darkest color on the tentacle thing here. And I'm just going to start very lightly with all the shadows that they already put in there. Okay? The shadows that are already there. I'm just going to pick them out. Barely touching. I'm telling you, the pencil is grabbing that acrylic paint. So you see how the shadows just get picked out with whatever's already there? It's not hard, guys. It's not hard. Okay, I'm just going to start with that. I'm just going to do one leg at a time. Now, if you want to, you could do all the sienna you wanted before you went on to something else. And me personally, I'd probably have done this right here first. The blue, I would have probably already done this leg before I did this part, just because it gives me the darkness to contrast against. Okay, same thing with the little bit of the white highlights here and there. And then I would go back in here and start working on the orange part. Oh, what's the number? Oh, that's a good thing. I don't know if I could read the number either. The number must have been on the other end and sharpened off. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Sorry. It doesn't matter so much. The idea here, guys, is to match your paint as best you can within a shade or so, because that way, if you've done the wash, you just want to have a color that's the same to blend. So it doesn't matter that it's the number of what I'm using. What matters is that the color of paint you're using, has a match. And then just get a couple shades, at least one lighter and one darker, to shadow and highlight. Know what I mean, Vern? Doesn't matter. Because unless you're using the exact colors I am on this exact octopus leg, you're not, it doesn't matter. You gotta match your own paint color. And it doesn't have to be these colors. You can do this any colors you want. So I'm just kind of shadowing around each one of those little suckers. Maybe I should turn it right side up, just so you can have a better view. It makes a little more sense. And you can always do that when you're coloring too. You don't have to color it like right side up. You can get in there with turning it around. Now I'm going to decide, do I want those sucker little, whatever you call them, little suction cups? Do I want them really dark in there, or would they look better like highlighted? It might look better with just like a touch of the white gel pen, for instance, like right in there. Might pop a little better. You could do this with color pencil too. It's just going to be a little trickier because you got to have a nice sharp pencil to get right in those little tiny areas, but it can be done. I don't even know if that's kind of popping a little. And then I might want to take the color that's just a little darker. Remember, this is the one that's the same color. See how it's a little bit darker? Yes, we're breaking rules. And I can go in there and kind of shadow like right under the suckers. I keep saying that. I don't really want to keep saying suckers. But you see, I'm going over the brown to kind of smooth it out a little. But because it's got that wash on it, you know, I can use that to my mid-tone benefit. And see how that's a little bit of a harsh line right there? I don't really like that. I want to kind of soften that. So I'm going to go back in there, kind of soften that line out a little. Go back in with the orange on top of the brown. Soften that out. So I don't know how helpful this is, but I've had so many requests to want to see me color. And here toward the end of the demo, we finally got the camera to work. That's always the way, right? Maybe I need to put in the description box. Watch all the way to the end. You'll see it close up at the very end or toward the end. And then if you want to add a little bit more, couple of spots of a little even darker, just got to kind of look at it. You're the boss of your page. If you want an art journal on top of your page, art journal all over it. It's your page. Okay, let me go ahead and finish that little bit of blue area right there, just because it's right here on the edge of this. Maybe this says shadow it a little bit more on this side, coming around. Some of those blue dots, might want to pop some of those blue dots out a little bit more. Give it a little more texture. A little bit of white in there. And so you got to do this with every one of these legs. Thank you. Thank you, I found you, Dee Dee. Okay. So let's turn her back around. And so can you see? It's kind of cool, right? Doesn't that look cool? So this is what you started with. And this is what we did with just a couple of colors. See how it makes it dimensional? They are actually called suckers or suction cups. Thank you, Rain. And see how we haven't done this leg. So you can kind of see where it goes from like this. So that's just the wash, but the wash gives you that mid-tone that you can get highlights and shadows on top of. Bye, Marita. Email me. Okay, Marita, thanks. All right. Now, the other thing I wanted to show was these things. Remember I put a mint green wash. You can probably barely see. It's mint green on all these little, you can see it right there compared to the white. A little bit of mint green foamy stuff on there. Okay. And these I wanted, all I really want to do with that is just get a mint green. Let's see what color here. Or a little, variation of like this color looks just a little darker than the mint green. Okay, so let me try to read the colors for you. Sea glass and celadon, which is kind of a gray green. Just a little, see how it's just a little darker? But that's all I really want for these foamy things. On the other pages that I did where they had all these foamy things. I did them, just left them white and just put a little bit of blue gray shadow. But just to mix it up this time, I did a mint green wash. Now the same thing applies. Go in there wherever there's a shadow and just start shading. Because this is all I want on these. I want them very light because of the black is in the background. So I just want a little bit. I just want a little bit. See, that's all I really want. Just that little bit. The rest, I mean, I could add a little bit of white highlights here and there, but I really just want to keep them light because the black, let me go in here with the black pencil so you can see, will make the color pop more by the time I get done with, and you could go in there again, these tiny little areas like this, you could get in there with your color pencil or a tiny brush if you're so inclined to paint it all like, flat black. But on these tiny little areas, it's just just as easy to me to go in there with your color pencil and color that in. Unless you just can really do a lot with the brush pretty fast. So either way, or both, flat black acrylic or go in there with pencil, either one. So I don't even know how, well, it might show up a little better once this leg, like let's put some shadow underneath of it here. Oops, pencil breakage. I'm glad you addressed those wavy foamy things. You were curious. Okay, Suzanne. Yeah, because they are on a lot of the pages. And I try to keep them as one of the lighter elements because I tend to do black or dark green or dark blue backgrounds, flat acrylic, dark backgrounds. I tend to do that. So the foamy things, there's so much of it around, it kind of keeps it lighter. I'll show on another one of the pages. Okay, so I'm going to get under the foamy thing on this leg here and just kind of shadow. I'll put a little shadow under the foamy thing. We're just calling it the foamy thing. Okay, so I'm just going to kind of, and I'm blending it out. See, so it's not like a harsh line. Just kind of blend that out. Same over here by this leg. But this actually, I'm telling y'all guys, I mean, people might make fun of us for coloring. I don't care. This is great practice for blending. It seriously is. And unless they've got themselves a color book and tried it, don't email me. Okay, so let me get a couple of little white areas there that might be highlighted under, on that little leg. And I mean, I can even get in there with a touch, just maybe a tiny little dot of black, just to make it a little extra oomph. A little extra oomphy shadow under there. So, and then, but if it looks too harsh to you, take your blue and blend it in. Just blend it out. It's kind of all blendy blend. And again, this is all going to be black in here. On this side, this is all going to be black. Now, if you come to little bug antennas or something, you can either just like leave a little bit of white space to indicate where they are, or go back in there with a gel pen and draw those in. That to me is easier. And this is the acrylic paint right there. Okay. Same thing for the little top of this ship. I'll just make sure I leave enough white space so I can see it, and then go back in there with a little bit of gel pen or, a pointy pencil. So you can do sections at a time, because it can get boring just going in there with doing all the black and then all the, it's if you can just kind of move around the page, you don't lose interest as quickly. I found anyway. If I'm doing 1,000 little suckers, it's probably gonna, I only could probably tackle that for about an hour. But with the pointy black pencil, that's how you can get in the little tiny areas, like right in there. That's going to be black in there. So whether you do it with a brush or a pencil is totally up to you. All right, let's see what kind of coloring is fun. Exactly. She wasn't sure about coloring, but then she tried it and now she's hooked. Yeah, Rain, exactly. I know, we don't either. We don't either. We don't either, Miss Christy Sobolinski. That's the only way I can say her name is with a southern accent. I can't say it nuts normally. I have to add the southern accent to it. That's right, Trina. You tell him, girl. You tell him, girl. Okay, so anyway, you kind of get the idea there. So there's the eye. I wanted to do something where you could really see a dramatic shading. And same thing for here. See, just look at the difference just between that and that. And it only doesn't take too long. But, you know, also feel free to turn your page a different way if it's easier for you to get on those areas. Okay. And then, you know, just blend in wherever you just think you might have got too much, you know, harshness or whatever. Like that. And this works for any kind of color pencil, anything you do. It's just that the color books have already shaded for you. And by the way, Christy Sobolinski, she has, that's the only way I can say her last name, Gulf Sprite. She has a color book of girl faces that is awesome if y'all want to. Christy, if you'll put your link in there, I think it's only $10 and she's got a whole bunch of faces. So, you know, practice on your faces, anything. So check out Christy's, and it's an e-color book. So you can just download it, print out as many faces as you want. I missed your question, Whippy. Do you use your whisper pressure for the black? I use my indoor voice for the black. Whisper for the shading. I love you, Whippy. Okay, so you got to get the idea on this one. And again, this is the only areas that I washed out or put an acrylic wash on. This right here, the blue of the squid and the orangey yellow on the suckers. That's the only washes I did. There you can see it with just the washes right there. And then you just move into shading on top of all the little things. And again, all this little bit that makes it look bumpy and lumpy, you can do that with every bit of it. It just takes time. You go in there with little tiny dots and highlights and shadows. You can do that all over the place, but it's going to take you lots of time. So it just depends on how much time you want to spend. Know what I mean, Vern? So there we go on that, around the little bubbles. But these little characters like this, you know, now I usually leave those little things to the end. And what I do is after I get the bulk of my coloring done, you know, like all the squid completely done and the black completely done, then I'll go in and see where do I need a pop of color. Like, let me go over here to the other one here. Where's my fish? So after I did all the fins and the body of the fish, then I just said I need some red. So then I went around and just did all the little creatures in red. Just because it gave it a pop of red. Oh, here's some of those wavy things. Who was asking? Anyway, so here you can see I left them white and just did a little bit of gray, blue color pencil. But I left them white because that way they popped out. See? Contrast. Contrast is really important if you want your pages to pop. Lots of bright whites or light, it could be yellow, against a dark. that gives it the contrast that makes things pop. So you can see it. So I just went in here with some red here and there. And this is dark blue paint. It might look black on the picture when I photographed it, but it's dark, dark blue. Midnight blue. See, right there you can tell. Okay, so that's just painted out. All these stars are my own. That's splatter. See how I splattered on top of everything? After everything was said and done, after all the color pencil was done, I splattered on top of the color pencil. Not, I didn't go crazy. I tried to keep it more in the stars, but I did let a few, see, a few splatters here and there. So I hope that helped as far as oh, that's a flamingo. Where's our squid? Let's get back to the squid. Come back here, Squiddy. Where are you? There's the whale. Snakes. Here we go. There. Do you, oh yeah, that's the same question. I hope the chat's not froze because that was the same question. I mean, and you can really get in some detail in there. Like right under those suckers, under the white areas right there. Let me turn it over because it's easier for me to get at. You can shadow right up under each one of those little, under each one of those little suckers. Under each one of those little suckers, you can get right up under there. I mean, it just depends on how much time you want to take. How detailed you want to get, you know. Even the little things. Okay, well, good, Trina. I'm glad. I hope it's helpful to, because I get a lot of questions, emails, YouTube. You know, a lot of people ask a lot of different questions on this, and you know, I do my best to, you know, I don't. If anybody asks me how I do anything, I tell them. You know, you'll get a whole, you'll get the teacher voice come out. That's what Jean says. Teacher voice. Hang on, let me tell Hubster I'm coloring. Hey, Anna, I'm still streaming. Can I call you back shortly? I'm having a big time. We're coloring, honey. We're coloring. Bye. In his mind, he's thinking, shouldn't you be working on some commissions? I get them both done. I do. I get them both done. So see all those little lines right there? You know, just go in there with a little bit of blue and white and maybe some darker areas. Then, you know, a light touch, not stressing. Cracking you up. All right, so let me go ahead and stop on the, this will take me, I mean, you can see how much I'm zoomed in. I'm going to stay zoomed in because we've got good clarity here. But this will probably take me, and I've worked on it, what, a couple hours already? It'll probably take me at least 4 more hours. At least 4 more hours. Maybe longer. All those little suckers, it may take me longer. Just so you can kind of get an idea. These, I don't rush them. I just take my time. All right, so I'm going to stop in this one. Again, this is the Anamorphe, and you can see how zoomed in I'm getting. I'm so happy with the clarity. You just don't know, people. And I want to go to the, what did I do with it? Where's my other book? Where'd he go? He can't have gone far. What did I do with it? Seriously, where is my... Just had it. It's not under my pencil tray. Ah, it's under that tray. Okay. My Doodler's anonymous. Okay. It is the process, Rain. It is. Okay, so I'm going to do something a little different in this. Again, it's really zoomed in, but I'm just going to move the book around because we can see really well right now. And I'm not going to, I'm going to go for it while we got it. So, in the Doodlers Anonymous, where was I? Was I in the middle of something? Where was I? Yes, I was in the middle of something. I think, oh yeah, so I was going to do this other page. Hang on, let's find it. This one. Well, actually, I could do this now because we can see. Sorry, I didn't mean to yell at y'all. The microphone's literally 2 inches from my face, and I just yelled at you guys. Okay, so on the Doodlers Anonymous pages, they're thicker. So you can use the water-based, I can't vouch for Copics, but you can use some water-based markers on these pages because they're a little thicker. Okay, we'll stay here for about, let's see, maybe till 2, maybe 45 more minutes. And Jean doesn't stream till 4, so I can stay till 2 and I still have time to go eat a big salad. I made my big salad yesterday, Jean. So, oh wait, but Hubster wants to go out tonight. We have date night at the Waffle House. Okay, so maybe this might be a good one to do with some of the Crayola markers so you can see how, you can do something with that or just, I don't know. I kind of like her, but this is really, I wanted to do some tiny things for you so you can see some tiny things. Some shading with just some color pencil, maybe a little bit of marker, just a little bit of marker. Now, I don't want to, here's the other thing too. When I'm doing multiple color pages, unless you write down or make a little mark on a paper to tell you what colors you are using, like in the Animalia book I was just doing, I don't want to forget what colors I was using. These are the exact colors that I want to use to continue the sucker legs and all that. So I'm either going to have to keep these separate, or if I'm using them, not put them back in my bin O color pencils, because then I'll forget what colors I was using. Your teen froze my head of lettuce when she unpacked the groceries. Would she put it in the freezer, or she didn't put it in the crisper, Whippy? When will I be back? For sure every Monday. I found you. I'm here every Monday, and then I mostly do an impromptu during the week, but I never know for sure. Depends on my commission work, if I have to run some errands for Hubster, if I have to go pick somebody up at the airport, it just a lot of things depend. So I can't really plan out. It's usually not a Tuesday, I'll tell you that. It's usually maybe a Wednesday morning and maybe a Friday morning. Those are, but if you follow me here, I found you. If you follow me here, when I hit broadcast, it should email alert you. So if y'all are following me here, or any of the streamers on their channels, make sure you follow them just so you'll get email alerts, hopefully. I think sometimes it depends on your browser, whether you get those email alerts. Oh, she put it in the freezer. Oh, bless her. Bless her heart. Yeah. All right, so let me just do a little bit of something here just so y'all can see. Again, I'm not putting any washes on this. This paper is slick, so it's not going to have the tooth of a wash, but this paper is thicker and slicker, and it does give you a brighter, see how bright that is? So your paper does matter. What kind of paper that the color books are matters. So something like this, because it's a thick paper, I'd probably do a lot of this, at least the bulk of the, picking out the major bulk of the colors and stuff with some kind of just these little water brush markers or something like that, because they're so pointy. You can get right in there. Let me take a red here and show it. With these little brush markers, you can get right up in there without sharpening your pencils constantly. If you're using color pencils on these tiny little areas like this, you're going to have to be constantly sharpening because they're so tiny, which is fine. Don't get me wrong, but I personally enjoy doing, something a little more not so tiny. I don't mind a bit of tiny bits in there, but to do this whole page like this is going to take days, days to do a page like this. Okay, so coming back over here, all right, let me show you a couple of things where I told you you can be the boss of your color book. So let me get my tiny, that's the medium point. Where is my fine point? Oh, it's in the drawer. So let me show you how you can be the boss of your color book or whatever. All right, so for instance, I can make this, doesn't have to be just black and white stripes, but let's pick an area like this guy's t-shirt here. Okay. I'm just going to go in here. If you Zentangle, you're ahead of the game in something like this. I don't Zentangle. But I'm going to go in here and just on his sleeve, I am going to do a little checkerboard. Maybe even another line there. And I'll just color it in. Maybe it doesn't have to be black and white. It can be any color. But I'm just going to just show you an example here. You could Zentangle any areas that are where you have room. Or doodle. It's a doodle book. We have permission to doodle in the doodle book. So, get your gel pens out, your markers, as long as your paper can take it. You just want to make sure your paper is thick enough to take whatever you're putting on it. It depends on the medium you will color with. So for me, okay, so Christy is saying, let's get us a Christy Sobolinski tip. I only can say her name with an accent. She's laughing at me, guys. She's taking a good ribbon. It depends on the medium you will color with. So for me, Christy says, if I'm doing just color pencil, I do cheap printer paper. If I'm doing marker, I do something slightly glossy or Bristol vellum. For watercolor, something that will handle the watercolor is good, but I can't run watercolor through her printer. So somebody might have been asking her too on printing something that I missed. Oh, Trina asked Christy, what's the best paper to print your ebook out on? Okay, so yeah, so if y'all are looking at getting Christy's ebook, she said it depends on the medium you will color with. So she said if you're doing just color pencil, the cheap printer paper. Yeah, and that's good too, especially if you want to cut the girls out and put them in a journal. So like if you color Christy's faces and girls and you want to put them in your journal, your art journal, it is better to print out on just plain old printer paper because it'll 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 it will glue down well into your art journals. And then she says if she's doing marker, she'll do something slightly glossier or Bristol. And then for watercolor, that will handle the watercolor. So that, yeah, and that will run through your printer. So in other words, don't put like 300-pound watercolor paper through your printer if your printer can't handle it. Yeah. So thanks, Christy. Yeah. So that's if y'all are going to get one of her e-girl. Oh, what? It's Golf Sprite. But do you have a? I don't have the link right here. I have it in my favorites, Christy. But can somebody put the link back in and I'll read it off? So if one of y'all want to check out Christy, and I'm sure everybody knows Golf Sprite, Christy. Anybody in the mixed media world knows Christy, for goodness sake. Yeah, it'll. Yeah. No. Hubster, oh my gosh, he will correct my grammar in a heartbeat. Well, he won't really correct it, he'll just make fun of it. Like if I say, but see, it'll. And we all say these things in the South because we get lazy with our grammar. We have the accent, so to go along with the accent, we just get lazy with the grammar too. And yeah. Okay, so I'm just going to do this little checkerboard sleeves. You see? Now I'm going to go ahead and color in with color pencil his shirt so y'all can just see the different way it reacts. Maybe a little bit of shadow with a marker, because I'm kind of trying to show you a couple different things. And again, it all depends on the paper. I could not use this black Faber-Castell marker in the Animalia book. The Animalia book will not take this abuse. It will not take this abuse. Will I put? Oh well, Whippy. I'll put a quote on here. Someone got something funny. Somebody tell me. Let's think of something we can put on a shirt. Great idea, Whippy. Let's put something on a shirt. And sorry again, guys. I'm right. I guess I should turn the volume down when I bring my camera like 2 inches from my face. If you're watching the recording, please turn the volume down. So will you go, Christy? Will you put your link in again? I'm sure it was earlier, but I missed it. So if you don't mind putting your link in again, so I can read it, or you can probably just find, Golf Sprite. If you go to Golf Sprite, Christy, you'll find her color book link to her ebook. Okay. So somebody thinks so many color books, so little time. I like that, Sarah. Let's see if I can make it fit. So I'm writing it over here. So many color books. ... So little time. I like that. I do, Sarah O. Well, I already did Color Book Attic on this one. Where is it? This one. I already put Color Book Attic in that one. Now, I'll do, because I'm going to do this, I want it to fit. I'm going to get me a pencil. We're going to pencil it in, and maybe I can try to make it bubble letters. I don't know. I don't know if I can make bubble letters. Are you lurking or are you lurch? Uli. Uli's lurching. I'm not sure if she's lurking or if she's lurch. Uli. Okay. Let's see, because I want to be able to read it too, so we want to make sure, Let's see. So many. We got to get so and many. I'm going to just pencil it in, see if we can fit it in. So many color books. I don't think I'm going to be able to do bubble letters. I'll just have to write it. So little. Let's see, I think I need to make color and books on 2 lines. So many look, no, that won't work either. So I'm going to have to go through the, let's make that bigger. Let's make it like graphically correct. Like a t-shirt might be so many color books, really big here. Books. And then so little time. Like that. Okay. Or we can do so many. I think that'll work. It's a little off center, but maybe his stomach is poking out the text. Let's get crack-a-lackin', right. Okay, so I'm going to go, let's see if I can write this now. Let me adjust my trifocals. All right, let's do. And Doodler's anonymous. Oh, I gotta tell y'all this real quick. When I said anonymous, Doodler's Anonymous has been retweeting my, pages I've been doing. And so I really do like to add these little touches like this because it gives it a little bit of personality, our own personality. Anyway, what I was going to say when I said a mominess, it reminded me, my 6-year-old grandson out in LA, I already told y'all about, all that. Um, he had a watch on a string and he was trying to appetize everybody. He was running around appetizing everybody with his watch on a string. Ah, ah. Okay, now I'm going to hit this with the heat gun before I erase the pencil or do anything else. Technically, maybe I should have colored it first and then done the lettering, but I think what I'm going to do is kind of color around it so that it kind of still like has white around the letters so it'll pop a little better. All right, so let me hit it with the heat gun first because that'll smear. Okay, so now I'm going to carefully make sure I'm not smearing it with my eraser here, even though I did hit it with the heat gun. I'm going to be careful. All right. So now let's get a red. Let's go ahead and get a red pencil. Where's my red? I had it out here a minute ago. And let's see, let's get red and some kind of a sienna or a purple for shading. Okay. We should all have those links to send to the Nagy P. I don't know who that is, Trina. And also, did I miss Christy? I thought somebody would put in a link. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and sharpen this really sharp. You could probably do it with a marker, but I want it nice and sharp, and I'm not going to put a lot of pressure, but I want to kind of go around. Oh, just broke. We love you, Prismacolor. What a crazy. If there's another with a face covered, you should get him a name tag. Oh my gosh, Vern. Oh, that's great, Christy. We'll find a place to put Vern. Here, hang on. I got my red keeps breaking here. Hang on. That's awesome, Christy. Okay, it broke again. Oh, I'm gonna growl like Jean does. I'm gonna growl. I can't get it any sharper. It'll just break. Okay, and I do have my white gel pen if need be, our emergency white pen. All right, let me look. I'm gonna look and see this coat right here. This is a good one. This is a big, but it's hard to tell that this is a shirt right there. I think we're gonna put it right here, or right here. Let's put it right there. I think I can just write in that one. I don't want the medium one. I want the small one. Okay, so we're gonna put a little name tag here. I don't want it to look like urine. I want it to look like Vern. Make it a little bit of like some kind of line under there, like it could be a little name tag. golfsprite.com/fineart. And then from there you can find Girls Coloring Book Volume 1. Thanks, Carrie. golfsprite.com. So, Dee Dee, me where the guy is, okay, where the guy is showing your work so we can point out the comments. Oh, Yeah, if y'all follow Doodlers Anonymous, follow Doodlers Anonymous, and I think it's just Doodlers. Well, let me see on Instagram. It's Doodlers on Twitter. Here, I'll find it for you guys. Search. I think it's just Doodlers. Doodlers. Hang on. I gotta readjust my light. My eyes. No, it is Doodlers Anonymous. At Doodlers. If you put in at Doodlers, and their logo thingy looks like this. Their little Twitter logo just looks like that. It's a little scribble. Okay, so that's just Doodlers. And let me see on Instagram if it's the same. Oh, I got 52 likes on my, I think everybody liked my guy this morning. Oh, sorry. I just saw that. When I haven't been to Instagram since I posted that guy this morning. My Doodlers guy. All right, let me find Doodlers. Yeah, it's OCAT. OKAT. If you put in Doodlers or Doodlers Anonymous, look for OCAT. That is the owner of Doodlers Anonymous. Okay, that's Doodlers Anonymous's guy. Person. Okay, so now let's go back to there's Vern. All right, let's go back over here in color. So what I want to do is, where's my red pencil? Okay. So what I'm going to do, if the pencil will hold up, is I'm just going to kind of shade, and this is very slick. It's very slick. The color just pulls, it's a different feel than going over it with, what do you call it, acrylic paint. It's just nice and slick and very vibrant. The color stays very vibrant. Can you see how it's going? So I just kind of want to go around and just color in the shirt a solid red right now, just carefully going around the letters. And this pencil could be a little sharper. If it would let me sharpen it, it would be awesome. Oh, there it broke again. See? I don't know. I don't know what to do about Prismacolor since they changed to Premiere and changed the factory. It's just not the same. It's not the same as when they were Beryl or even Sanford. But I don't know. I don't know what to do about it. I love the waxy blendability of Prismacolor, but the breakage is crazy. And please, anybody, do not email me and tell me it's the way I'm sharpening. It's not. I'm not the only person that has this problem with breakage. We try to do our best to make sure it's lined up centered when we buy our pencils, but Prismacolor has a quality control issue. All right, so let's see. But the only other colors that I think I would probably like are the Caran d'Ache Lumiere, and they're like $5 to $6 a pencil. I just can't afford that with all the, color pencil work I do. I can't afford $6 a pencil. Now, Caran d'Ache, if you hear this and want to sponsor me, I'll take them for free. Now, I don't mind buying good quality stuff, but to invest in a whole set of that, something like $600 for a set of pencils, 600. Okay, what's his name? Is that all right? Let me look. So, Sarah O just said to check out. Let me put it in here first. Cool. There's a lot of great, amazing color pencil artists out there. I follow as many as I can. I'm all about learning from whoever. Wow, I lost word. Oh, there it is. C-A. Whoops. C-A-S. Oops, easy. Okay. All right, yeah, this is awesome. So Sarah O, who I think I found Sarah O on Instagram. John Castanelli. Oh well, let me just tell you, his name on Instagram is CastiezY art, and it's John Castellana. Well, his nickname or his handle, whatever you call it, Castinezy. Castanese art. Yes, he has some amazing color pens. He's got some monsters and some. Look at this. I don't know. You know what? I really don't want to put it up under the camera and flash the camera out. We have such good, visibility here right now. But yeah, y'all go look on Instagram at that. Thanks, Sarah. Yeah, I know. And some people say to put them in. I'm not recommending this because I think it was Dana that hers caught on fire. Somebody said to put it in a microwave at low, or to put a whole bunch of them, or put it in the oven at low, out in the sun. I mean, do we really have to do this to buy the product? Do we really have to heat up every color pencil because of their crap? I mean, their carp production? I mean, really? We shouldn't have to do that. But yeah, some people have mentioned putting them in a microwave. Some people have mentioned putting them in the oven. I personally would rather do like hot sun or sitting out in the car or something. What it basically they're saying is it melts the wax inside and reconnects it. But we shouldn't have to do that, right? Yeah, the writing is foil. Don't put them in the microwave. That's what Dana said too. But some people have said they've done it fine, and it's worked fine for them. I would be leery of putting them in the microwave. I'd much rather just put them out in the hot sun. Of course, now it's going to be winter. Uh, so I'm just kind of, I just want to kind of get around the shirt kind of like that. I really shouldn't have put that bit right there. I think I want to kind of erase that. Sometimes you're going to get a little bit of erasage with your Ticonderoga black eraser. Or if you have an electric battery up, go for it. I don't have one of those. All right, so I'm just going to use my Ticonderoga black. This works the best, the black eraser to me, for erasing any color pencil. Now, it's not going to erase it 100%, especially a red, but it'll erase it enough where I can go in there with my white gel pen and kind of fix it. Not that it's a big deal. It's really not a big deal, but we might as well talk about fixing things while we can. And I really want to get much tighter around these letters. I really want to get nice and tight around these letters, but I can't sharpen my red pencil. Oh, sorry, guys. I didn't mean to yell at you. Uh, but I think it'd be better if I left it white because it will stand out. It'll stand out more, you know. Luckily, since you have the. Oh yeah, Suzanne. I think is that the same one that what do you call it? Paula did a review. She got a sharpener. Now here's the thing about the sharpeners, the sharpeners, and I've seen some people online put their pencil in. They'll do this. I'll show you what they do. Wait a minute. Wait for it. Wait for it. Where's my? Here's what they'll do. Okay. So they'll go. They'll put their pencil. They'll put their pencil in the sharpener. And here we go. I don't want to do that with my pencil. We need someone to have a tattoo. Oh, is that what someone said? Needs something cool over his. He doesn't have a tattoo. That's hairy arms. That's hairy arms. It doesn't eat them up. Okay. So Suzanne said it does not eat them up. Okay, let me write that down. You're going to make me invest in a $50? No, I don't know how much they cost. It does. Okay. So let's see what it was. It was a Bostitch sharpener. Bostitch, I think is what it was. A Bostitch sharpener. Okay. $13? Oh, now I can handle that. Okay, I'll say. All right, so if y'all get a Boss Stitch sharpener for $13 from Amazon, make sure and use Paula's A-Store journal 038-20. Okay. All right, so now what I want to do is I want to get in here, though, and fix a little bit of that red with my white gel pen where I erased it and kind of just, like that. You can still see it a little bit, but I think after it dries, I can put another coat on it. Okay. So anyway, back to his tattoo. Yeah, he has hairy arms. That's not a tattoo. 13 at Walmart. Okay, Walmart. Okay. All right. Thank you. Thank you, guys. Suzanne Hale's the one that told me that. You have to have a light touch with the electric sharpener. Okay, Lynn. All right. I don't know, you guys. Like I said, if this happens to me, oh, I'm not on the camera, and it comes out, you'll be hearing from me. No, I'm just, all right. The new manual sharpener that has the stops and alignment. Okay, well, I'm gonna think about that Boss Stitch sharpener. $13 at Walmart. Okay, so we got Vern. Maybe we should have tattooed Vern on his arm. Yeah, you didn't know that was hair? Yeah. There we go. But what I wanted to show you guys was that, I'm using a red for the base color, but now I'm going to use a dark purple or a brown, a sienna color for shadows. If this sucker breaks, I'm throwing it across the room. Not really. So I'm going to go in there and use a purple or a dark brown, either one will work, to shadow the red. You can barely see it. It's very subtle. But it's real slick. The pencil is real slick on this particular paper. So it just depends on the color book paper. So I'm just going to shadow under his arm there. So you can kind of see. And if it gets too much of a line, just go back with your red and, blend it in like that. Okay, so it just gives it a little bit of oomph. It's very subtle. You may not even really be able to see much of it on camera. Make it whisper. Sarah. Okay. All right, so there you go, guys. Just to kind of show you something different in this book. It's very slick. When you color on this in the Doodler's Anonymous book, the paper's thick. It's like cardstock. It's like your Staples cardstock. It's very slick. It's harder to shade and blend. Like this would be a harder paper to do a face on because it's just slicker. The paper is slick. It keeps it vibrant though. It keeps the colors very vibrant. Not this brand, but like this. Oh, okay. So yeah, y'all go look at I can't go to the link right now, Trina, while I'm here because I might lose connection. So, all right. So anyway, guys, I'm going to remember to zoom in 100%. That's 5 clicks in on my camera. Because look, this looks awesome for coloring. It came out so awesome. I mean, the clarity. I usually have a really hard time zooming in this in tight, and I hope it's not just that the poor lighting outside helped it. Ah. Oh, anyway, so let's see. Let me go back over here to some of the other things I've called like this. So you can kind of see. I think on this one we did a wash of, we used some Neo colors. I think we did a little bit of Neo color wash in this, if I'm not mistaken. But this thick book, this Doodler's book, I'm telling you, it's a great one to test out anything that's like your markers, or anything like that. You know what we haven't done? I don't think. Have we done anything with the Inktense? I don't know if we've done anything. Let's just do a quick little section here with Inktense, and then we'll go. Okay. So let me get my Inktense. I don't want to bump the cameras really, really low. I don't remember if we've done anything with our Inktense. Okay, let me get my water brush. Oh, here's one sitting right here. Okay. Someone should take note and post these on Facebook when all the links are shared. That's kind of hard to do, Linda. Links and stuff like that go by so fast in chat, and we're here for sometimes 6 hours. And unless you have, I don't link. I don't think any of us link our videos except occasionally. Like I'll put a color book something in my Facebook folder, but I don't think any of us really. I don't know. I don't think it would work. I mean, maybe, I don't know. Anybody's willing to, put all that information in a Facebook. I don't have time. I don't have time to do anything like that. I barely have time to post. But anyway, yeah. For all, as Linda was suggesting that all the links that we post be posted on a Facebook somewhere. But there's a whole bunch of us streamers, and none of us really have one Facebook page. We all just post whatever, and I just don't see how it would be organized. Personally, that's just me. Yeah, I don't see how it would be organized. Okay, because there's 20 of us streamers, and to try to organize 20 of us streamers and indicate which stream it was posted on with what links, that you're organized, Linda. You're an organizer. You're a professional organizer, Linda. Now, I did do Neos. Yeah, I did do Neo colors on, I think, the astronaut. I think I did a little bit of Neo colors on this one, Eileen. Just because so we could test it out. But I want to just do a little bit of like this boat right here. Let's just pick a couple of blues and just try to just do a little bit. Whoops. Come back to mama. I think we'll just do a couple shades of blue. I'm just going to pick, I don't even know what color blues these are. Let's just do a quick little, that's a dark blue. That's kind of almost the same blue. Let me get a lighter blue. They never have enough blues in anything, to me. I never find enough blues. Well, let's just do one. Let's just do one blue. We don't have that much time. No. You're not organized, Linda? I don't know. Somehow I remember you being organized. I haven't been around you for a while. Okay, well, I don't know. Yeah, we're going to test this out, Eileen. So I'm going to do it two ways. Inktense we can do a couple different ways, but I'm going to show you two. You can color in with the Inktense. Okay. And somebody else asked me as well if you could blend your watercolor pencils. This is ink. This is ink pencils. It's a little different than watercolor pencils. But somebody asked me if you could use your watercolor pencils just like you would blend like your Prismacolors. And I never really test them out because I don't do it. I don't need to do it because I have Prismacolors and other color pencils. But there's two ways you can do this. Okay, so I'm putting a little bit of the Inktense down. Now you can take your water. Again, this is, heavier paper, so that it should stand up to this. But I don't want too much water either. I'm going to try to keep the water. Let me get a Kleenex. I'm going to try to keep the water from getting too much water. And I'm just going to kind of blend this out. Okay, so you can do it like this. So you kind of get a watercolor look. Again, I showed you before on the charts. I think we did Inktense on this chart. Yeah. The white color pencil, we use white as the example, does not go over Inktense nearly as well as, say, the acrylic. Or water, that's watercolor. That's even not even as near as good. So you can see. So if you want to put color pencil over this, you know, what makes the paper kind of see-through with, like it. Let me see, Scrappy Pats. Do you know what makes the paper kind of see-through with the Prisma sometimes? Like you see through, not solid color. You mean the paper itself? I'm not quite understanding the question. What kind of pressure am I using for this, Carrie? None. And see, I got a big blob of water right there. Okay, now I do not want to go over that right now. I'll tear through this paper because that's a big blob of water. It needs to perfectly dry. I am using no pressure, Carrie. Hardly no pressure at all. Okay, the other way to use the other way to use Inktense or any kind of watercolor pencils or your Neocolors is to take your water brush and pull off the ink off the tip. And then you get, a full on, I got too much water in this brush. But then you can get the pure vibrancy there. Again, too much water here, but you get the point. Okay. So you can use Inktense. You can get more on there and make it darker. It's ink. But you got to be careful. This is thicker paper. Most color books, you can't do this kind of thing. You'll go right through it. Yeah, if you weren't here a little while ago, Scrappy Pats, we did an anamorphia demo, and it'll be recorded. I'll upload it to YouTube later today. So if you weren't here for that. So this is wet. Now here's the thing about Inktense and on wet. If I go right on here, it's pulling off, see how it's pulling off the color? But it's pulling off the color in a non-consistent way. So you got to really get in there, and this paper is not the best for this. Okay? It's just too wet, I don't want to get this book that soaking wet. My anamorphia, I've decided it's going to wrinkle because I do the washes. But this is, that's like a lot of water. That's like almost a teaspoon of water I just put on that page. There seems to be less control with the Inktense, at least in a color book. Well, yeah, But, with your water brush, depending on, you just got to make sure you don't squeeze it at all. And this is very tiny. Can you see how tiny that is, guys? It's like, 2 inches right there. So let me dry that real quick because I don't want it to soak through. But I wanted to show you some different things. You can try anything. Try anything in your color books, but make sure that your pages are thick enough to handle it. I just don't want it to sink through. Okay, so now let's go back to our red shirt. Where's our red shirt guy? Where is he? I'm looking forward to coloring the typewriter too. Look at the typewriter. Isn't that awesome? Hey, CB Lisha. All right, so let's see. Where's our red shirt guy? There's the astronaut. There it is. Okay. So I really want to get around a little bit better around that. God, look how clear that looks. Oh my gosh. I'm gonna have to work on keeping this. We got to keep that good focus. uh, for these tight demos like this. That's why I always don't like to do close up because we never get this clarity. Yes, and Vern. Vern's right there. Well, you have to go visit Paula. But anyway, guys, so any more questions, ask real quick. I need to go eat, upload all these videos. So we did the file folder fodder and a couple of color book videos. And I did show my goodies from LA that Hubster and Cam brought back. Oh, you know what? Since it's in the end of the show, I'm going to try to show y'all some pictures. How about that? Real quick. Because if it flashes out the camera or whatever, it doesn't matter because we're done. So, yeah. But I do want to get in there around those letters really nice. I mean, before I finish the whole page and all. So many color books, so little time. Thank you, Carrie. Thanks for modding. And again, this is the Doodlers Anonymous. And we did the Anamorphia. Let me show y'all real quick if y'all just came in and missed some of the detail we did here. So there's the eye of the squid and some of the little suckers on his tentacle. So we did this real. Thanks, Eileen. I hope so. I mean, if we were coloring all the time, we get used to doing all these same things. But sometimes not everybody does, right? All right, so let me go ahead and find some pictures here real quick. And we'll see if the camera can handle it. Look how close I am. That's pretty close. Okay, so here is a picture of Cam and let's see, turn it. This is them in the. Oh look, it's showing up good. Oh my gosh, maybe my camera just had an epiphany. My camera had an epiphany and decided we're going to work for you. There is Cam and Logan in the sketch room at the J. Paul Getty drawing. Yeah, my camera has decided it's going to work for me. Okay. Here is Cam and Annie. That's my other daughter. That's Logan's mama. And they're out to eat there. It is a little bright anyway. I mean, just the picture's a little bright. White tablecloth and all that. Let's see. I want to show you his skeleton costume. All right, so here, oh, no, that one's not very good. Do I have a better one? Here. Here's Cameron's skeleton costume and makeup. Yep, it's going to flash out. Let's see. He did all his makeup himself. Hubster. Here's Hubster. Hubster went as Matt Ryan from the Falcons. You can't see him. You can't see his goatee. He's got a lovely white goatee, but you can't see it in the picture. But there's Hubster. Wait for it. Don't anybody leave. Don't you dare leave while Nana's showing off the grandchildren. Just kidding, guys. Just kidding. All right, let's see. I mean, I got tons of them, but I'm just trying to pick out the major events. Just some major events. Let me go over to my message. Okay, I think I showed y'all this one. Now, this one was dark and at night, but there's Annie, Dan, and Cameron. They went as bad to the bone. They were all skeletons. Bad to the bone. Annie and Dan had masks. Cameron painted his. Ah, thanks, CB. Um, yeah, here's Hubster. There's Hubster in front of the J. Paul Getty Museum. Let's see. I'm teasing you guys. You can leave if you. Oh, Logan decided because Cam painted his own face, he wanted a zombie. So he painted his own face. There's his zombie makeup. He did it himself. And then one other thing I wanted to show you was Cameron's drawing. Let's see, do I have it right here or do I have it somewhere else? One moment. Let's see. I know I kept some of Cam's drawings. Does Hubster have a single brother? No, he has a married brother. Sorry. Oh, but I'll tell him he said that. Oh, here they are up at Runyon Canyon and Hollywood sign. Let's see. I don't see if you can see the Hollywood sign in that one. In one of these, you can see the Hollywood sign. But they ran Runyon Canyon while he was there. I'm trying to find. Oh, here is the. Okay, let me show you this real quick. Oh, this was in the sketch room. In the sketch room, I don't know if you can see. See the statue back there? See the statue back there? That's what Cam is drawing. He's drawing that. And here's how far he got in an hour. This is how far he got in an hour. And the museum stamped it. Let's see if I can get it. Hang on, guys. Come on. It's a full white piece of paper, so it's not wanting to. Hang on. It's not wanting to. It's wanting to flash out but the museum, there it is. They stamp it if you go to their sketch room, and so that's what he drew from that statue. That's what he drew in an hour. From the cast, that plaster cast, this is what he drew. So, and let me show you one more. I'm going to brag on him. One more picture that I have that wasn't finished. He gives me pictures of his half-finished work, and he turns them into school, and I don't see them finished. But here's one of his drawings here. Let's see. There. Ugh, it's wanting to flash out. Hang on, guys. Let me try to get the camera to focus again. There's one of his drawings. Okay, let me try again. One more time. There it went, flashed out again. But that's one of his drawings there. He's really a good sketcher, good drawer. And, he's not afraid to do it in public. So, all right, guys. Well, that's all I'm going to brag on the kids today. I won't keep you any longer. Yeah, he is, CB. He's got some awesome work in his portfolio. But like I said, by the time he shows it to me, it's either half done and he turns it in, and then I don't, because he's in art, journalism. He has advanced classes. He's very smart. Both of them are. Boo is too. I'm real proud. Oh, let me show y'all one more Boo. Oh, you know what? Let me go ahead and stop the recording, and then I'll show you a picture of Boo. I don't want to show her on camera. Okay, so yeah. Let me go ahead and stop this, and I'll show you a couple more pictures. So thanks everybody for being here, and hope y'all got some ideas out of the color book pages. So we'll talk to y'all later.